Marjorie Taylor Greene has been having a rough go of it. I think actually that's an understatement. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been consistently losing her mind over the past couple of weeks, full of rage and anger all the time, and it just continues to pour out. And I think it's because she has set herself up on some of the best committees for Democrats and some of the worst committees for her. She is being poked and prodded and having the lies in her statements pointed out all the time. It's driving her crazy. She also just can't take the fact that Donald Trump is getting dunked on. And so she was driven to such a point of anger that she lashed out and threatened a Democrat in a recent hearing. We're going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video. And if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into that full clip of a beautiful takedown from a congressional Democrat, I want to hear something Jasmine Crockett had to say on this exact topic that I think hits close to home.
At some point in time, we have to evaluate what is factual. And I know that facts hurt y'all, and I just wish we could get on the same page, but we do know during the presidential election that the president would not go and participate in anything if fact-checking was going to be a part of it, because he didn't want to be fact-checked. We know that the vice president got upset in his vice presidential debate when he was fact-checked. It used to be a time in this country that we as members of Congress or elected officials thought that it was okay to just tell the truth.
MAGA claims to be the party of free speech. MAGA wants free expression. MAGA wants you to be able to say what's on your mind. But that's not true. If it was, Donald Trump wouldn't be censoring journalists, kicking them out of the White House, suing 60 Minutes. No. What MAGA wants is to be able to say and do anything and not be held accountable. That's what they actually want. They do not care about free speech, never have, and never will. And we saw that in this hearing I was talking about, in which a congressional Democrat called out Donald Trump in a fiery response, saying that we got to go up against him. We got to push back. And apparently the words, well, they got on, they offended Marjorie Taylor Greene. They got under his skin. Little snowflake there. She had a pretty crazy reaction.
They know that they're violating federal employment laws, and they know that they are reversing American foreign policy in a way that we have never seen before. And Donald Trump and his allies are trying to redefine the Constitution by tweet. They're threatening federal judges, intimidating federal employees, and yes, even members of Congress using the Department of Justice. And why? We don't know, because not a single person from the administration has come here to testify in this committee or in any committee about what Doge and Elon Musk are actually doing. And if you look at the so-called transparency that Elon Musk put online, the math does not add up. Talk about wild and sloppy. Our friends across the aisle like to talk about how he's some sort of genius. And this dude couldn't even post a simple spreadsheet that adds up. It's literally off by tens of billions of dollars. You guys, that's wild. I mean, like, literally, that's wild. But in spite of this, our friends across the aisle are acting like everything's normal. And last night, they passed a budget resolution that not only is going to gut Medicaid and Medicare, but is going to make these cuts in federal firing permanent, even though they know it is making America less safe. And in the meantime, Elon Musk is actually awarding himself additional federal contracts. In fact, yesterday it was reported that he gave himself the FAA contract for communications. I mean, you guys, this is like graft, waste, fraud, abuse, all of the things. It's happening in front of your eyes, literally, and they are breaking the law while they cozy up to our foreign adversaries. And I know that Donald Trump thinks that he's a king because his social media, of course, he keeps repeating this. But let me say this to you, Mr. Trump. 250 years ago, the people of this great nation rejected a reckless, abusive king, and we won't go back. And for the thousands of federal workers out there, the aid workers, the advocates, and the people around the world who are impacted by these reckless and heartless and harmful and disgusting cuts that are impacting people across the world, know that we see you, we stand with you, we are fighting for you, we are in the courts, we are in Congress, we are in our communities, and we will hold this administration accountable. And we will not abandon our allies or our humanity. So with that, I say to all of you, be strong. We will fight back.
I now recognize myself for closing remarks. And threats against the President of the United States will not be tolerated by anyone.
Well, hold on a second. What is saying that we have to fight back against the fascist in the White House and make sure he doesn't destroy our country from within is a threat against the president? You actually threatened Joe Biden many a time. So did Donald Trump. So does every other conservative in Congress or media about all Democrats all the time. Donald Trump is threatening journalists actively, threatening members of Congress. He said he was going to deport AOC the other day, and we can't speak in fiery language? The Free Speech Party doesn't think so? Huh. Interesting. That's a little interesting there. Don't you think? But that's what these people are all about. Elon is the best example. Elon kicks off conservative influencers when they say something he doesn't like. These people have no through line. They have no principles. They have no understanding of what they're doing. It's a point I've tried to return to again and again, that we can give no legitimacy to these people. They are bad actors, and they are bad at their jobs. Although their job is, I guess, technically to rip apart the government, they're doing that a little bit successfully, but we can't misunderstand it. Someone who made that point in a great way was Rachel Maddow right here.
Today, we can add to the list of principled resignations 21 people from Doge. People who had been held over from the U.S. Digital Service because they were expected to work with Elon Musk's team at Doge. 21 of them resigned today saying, quote, "We will not use our skills as technologists to compromise core government systems, to jeopardize American sensitive data, or to dismantle critical public services. We will not lend our expertise to carry out or legitimize Doge's actions." Again, 21 members of the Doge service resigning today. The thing that is emerging, we're now 5 weeks and a day into this thing. The thing that is emerging as the real weak card in their hand, and I don't know if we should have known to expect this or not, but it's just becoming more and more increasingly obvious with each passing day. Their weakness is that they kind of suck at what they're trying to do. I'm sorry to use that phrase, but they really do appear to be terrible at their intentional actions, right? And, you know, you don't want like a surgical robot to be terrible at what it does. You don't want your letter carrier or your research scientist or your park ranger to be terrible at what they do. We need those folks to be good at what they do, and by and large, they are. The person you actually want to be terrible at his job is the guy who thinks it's his job to destroy your country's government. And Elon Musk is turning out to be very much up to that task. I mean, amid all the pushback of all these various kinds, the best assistance the pushback is getting from the Trump and Elon Musk side is that Elon Musk really does appear to have no idea what he's doing, and it is showing more and more every day. And so it is really hurting what he is trying to do, which is so sad. Just take, for example, a short version of this saga from the last few days of Elon Musk initiating this email to all federal workers, including, hopefully, some people who no longer have access to their email because he ordered that they be put on leave and locked out of government computer systems. Oops, but that's how he's trying to contact them now, by sending them emails to email addresses he won't allow them to check. Awesome. But this email, as you know, told everybody that they needed to give Elon Musk a list of the things they had done in the past week, or else. If they didn't send him this list, that would be taken as a resignation. And immediately we saw multiple government agencies tell their workers, do not do this. Do not respond to this. The Defense Department, the FBI, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the State Department, the Homeland Security Department, the Education Department, the Commerce Department, the FDIC, the IRS, the Energy Department, FEMA, the CDC, the NIH, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, our beloved NOAA. They all told the people who work at those agencies, do not respond to this. And in that list, I just mentioned a few different components of the Department of Health and Human Services. Just looking at that one agency for a second to get a sense of how this played in an agency that is now run by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, look at how this played there. Elon Musk sends this like middle of the night insane email to everybody who works at HHS, everybody who works in the rest of the government. At HHS, they initially told their employees Sunday morning that they needed to respond to this email and do what Elon Musk said. Then an hour later, an email went out from the Trump-appointed acting director of the NIH, which is part of Health and Human Services. And that person told all NIH employees, oh, no, do not respond to this. Then a few hours after that, HHS, as an overall agency, told all employees, actually pause, maybe hold just a second, we're not sure. The ultimate advice given to people who work at HHS was that they could respond to Elon Musk's threatening email if they wanted to, but they didn't have to. And if they did, quote, do not identify by name or title any other HHS employees with whom you have been working. Do not identify by case name or otherwise matters you are working on. Do not identify any specific grants or contracts or any specific grantees or contractors. If you are engaged in any scientific experiments, research, or reviews, do not provide information that could allow anyone to identify the precise nature of your work. The advice ended with this, quote, assume that what you write will be read by malign foreign actors and tailor your response accordingly. That's how well this thing is going. The Office of Personnel Management, which is the entity under which Musk sent out this insane, like, apparent prank email.
Elon is dumb. Let's keep it simple. He is not a genius. He is not the mastermind of fixing our government. He is just a corrupt, on drugs, narcissist who will do anything he can to score an extra buck at your expense. That's it. We got to call that out. And we're going to every single day on the show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.